Hello partakers, so glad to have you again this week on the Your Take Show. Like you know what we always do here, but let's break it down for the people that have just tuned in for the very first time. On this show, we actually talk about nutrition, we talk about how we can use food to get us better, to get us healthier, and to get us glowing and to flourish at the end of the day. We all want to flourish, we all want to be happy, so any ways that we can do that and promote our health, we talk about that, but especially using food. And that being said, let me introduce myself. My name is Amanda and I am a nutritionist. Very glad to have you on the show. So on our food throne today, which is a segment where we talk about a food and just highlight it, you know, make it more understandable to us, why we should have it in our diets, and just dissect it a little bit. We are going to be talking about courgette or zucchini. Some people call it zucchini, others call it courgette. And this is what it looks like. It's actually, if I could say, a sister or a brother to cucumbers. So those that know cucumbers, yes, this is actually like similar to that. And this particular one is special because as much as we cannot cook cucumbers, I mean the taste will be bitter. I tried once and I just could not bear the taste. For courgette, this is actually a version or a sister of cucumbers that you can actually cook and get a very nice taste. So why should we add courgettes or zucchini to our diets? Well, zucchini has a lot of fiber, just like cucumber, and so that's going to be helpful for people that say have constipation, also for people that are trying to regulate their blood sugar, you know, keep it at a well-balanced level because of the fiber that this contains. Even for those that are on weight loss programs and diets, this is going to be a very important part of your diet, and so this is something that you should add to your diet. But it also has very important vitamins which are health promoting, like vitamin A and also vitamin C. Now these are supposed to help us, you know, just fight off infection. They're supposed to help keep the integrity of some of our body structures, like our skin, like our hair. So if you're the type that's trying to make sure you keep looking younger, you know, youthful, even at an old age, this would be very helpful. But also just to help prevent from you know, damage of our cells on the inside, these vitamins really do protect us. It also has potassium, which is going to be very important for your muscle health, you know, also for regulating again our blood pressure, and just making sure our internal body system is actually working right. So you might want to also add zucchini and courgette again into your diet. I think everyone needs it. It's also like more of an alkaline vegetable, so it's not going to be very acidic. If you're the type that has ulcers, this would be something that you can actually take without any side effects. So I guess that's it about zucchini. Let's head on into our discussion room and just get to seeing what people are asking about and what we can learn. What are the lessons we are learning from people's questions and very insightful concerns. So our first question in our discussion room is coming in from Engineer Alex. Very glad to have you, Mr. Engineer. He's asking, how can I gain weight without using a lot of money? Well, if this is going to be, even if you have a lot of money, by the way, if weight loss or if any health and nutrition program is going to be workable, practical, and also something that you succeed with, it needs to be most realistic. That's the most important bit. And that also includes you having things that are actually around you, you utilizing the things that are around you. For example, if you're on a weight, because he's trying to gain weight. So say you're on a weight gain diet, and you are in Mbarara, for example, which is known to have lots of bananas, you know, matoke, and then you're looking out for, and also it has a lot of milk and cows and therefore cheese. So if you're in a weight gain diet, you might want to look what's around in Mbarara, which is the cheese, to actually help you gain that weight. So utilize things that are around you so that you don't have to struggle so hard. Sometimes also if we get to struggling so hard to look out for things that we need, you end up easily giving up because you use that excuse to say, you know what, I don't have the things that I need. So try and scan through what's around you. Say if you're in Kampala, maybe fish is very affordable in Kampala. Maybe fish is more seeable in Kampala. So you might want to get that and then use that. Just use cooking methods that will actually help you make safe deep frying to make sure that the fish has some good oil content and would help you gain weight. So if we use the things that are around us more and scan through the things that are around us, we might be able to succeed more than making plans that are sort of in a bubble, or dreamy plans that are, you know, very hard to accomplish. So yes, that's it for Engineer Alex. Let's go into Frankenstein's question, which is the second question of the show. Frankenstein asks, why do I get diarrhea when I eat beans? So like we said, or we always say on this show, how a food treats one person is not going to be the same way it's going to treat another. So that's why it's very important that you observe your body, that you listen to the language of your body, and you know, just deal with it according to what it's telling you. But here's another important lesson that we can learn. You might be allergic to these beans, Frankenstein. It might be, you know, digestive disorder that you have that's disturbing your, you know, utilization of these beans. But one important fact we also need to know is also the contamination of these foods that we actually eat. We need to put that in mind when we are choosing our foods, because some of these foods are actually, we should know that contamination can actually happen right from when these foods are being harvested. Say if someone is harvesting them and then probably, you know, the food gets pricked or pierced. Say they are harvesting cucumbers, for example, or courgettes like we have talked about today, and the food has been pierced. There might be a risk of, you know, germs and microbial organisms entering those piercings or bruises on the food, and therefore, you know, you are susceptible to having that food contaminated. So contamination can actually happen right from when you are actually planting these things, because we use a lot of pesticides and, you know, insecticides and chemicals on these things, and who knows what gets inside there. That might be one cause of contamination. Also through harvesting, like we have talked about, even through transit, you have harvested this food, but as it's moving on to, say, the person that's going to sell it, or it's moving on to the final consumer, who knows, maybe there is heat damage during transportation in these vans that the food is being carried. That's where contamination may also happen. And then also, even when it gets to the final consumer, there could be contamination when you are cooking this food. There could be contamination on how you store this food. So let's be very keen. Each one at their particular level of chain of supply should be able to, you know, put more effort and more time and more thought into how we actually keep and handle our food until it gets to our tummies. So let's think about that as well. And yeah, we'll be heading into our third question, but before that, let me let you know how you can join the different social media platforms that I am on, and even the communities that we are on as a Your Take family. So the first platform is on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, and I do post a lot of other health-related content. I'm sure you would find it beneficial, so do head down there. The YouTube channel name is Amanda Twebaze-Nutritionist, and then on Facebook there is, I call that community my blessing, because people talk about health, people talk about nutrition so freely, and we are learning a lot from each other. The Facebook page name is Amanda Twebaze-Nutritionist. Also on WhatsApp, you can send, you know, maybe your concern, nutrition concern, or a question, or even just feedback, because, you know, it's great for us to communicate. But let that be WhatsApp messages or SMSs only, no calls please on that number. It's 0782 152610. On Instagram, my handle is Food Witness, and I also do have a blog where you can just read, you know, short food related stories. The blog name, the blog address actually is amandatwebaze.blogspot.com. If you are the type that has, you know, a business nutrition proposal, then you might want to head down to my email and send that in. That's amanda.chichoncho@gmail.com. Let's head on into our third question, shall we? The third question is coming in from someone called Rina, and she says, I'm 55 kgs and I want to reduce to 45 kgs. I have tried pills, exercises, but all in vain. I don't have any complications. How can I handle my diet? Okay, we've talked a lot about weight loss on this show, and I'm sure you keep learning different lessons as we talk about it every other time. This time, let's talk about one thing that we could actually use during weight loss plans, which is going easy on your stomach. That's why I would recommend also that you focus a lot more on a more fluid diet. I'm not saying don't eat food. I'm saying, I mean starchy foods, for example, or solid foods. I'm just saying, how about you turn those starchy solid foods into more fluid? For example, if we, instead of having pumpkin just like that, whole as it is, maybe some days you want to have it whole and other days you want to make a pumpkin soup out of it. Why are we doing this, or why is it important? Because you need to, when we are dealing with weight loss, you need to also sort of rehabilitate your stomach, like restore its functionality. And one of the ways you can do that is allowing it not to be overburdened, if I should say, with these very taxing foods that need a lot of work. And that's why fluid diets are very helpful when we're looking at weight loss. So how about we go more into having porridges, you know, do a lot of juices, do a lot of herbal teas, and then make soups as well, make sauces and stews. And you could even mash some of these foods instead of having them hard, because that helps to sort of get past the first stage of digestion, which is the chewing in the mouth, and that definitely reduces the workload for even the stomach. So more fluid diet, so we can try and help the body to actually lose the weight. Dr. Onyait is asking, how do I shed my belly, in the fourth question. Well, when it comes to our bellies, we know they can be a little, you know, stubborn, and no one wants a belly. But here are some of the things that we can learn from, you know, trying to reduce our bellies. We definitely are going to need to use more plant-based foods, because those have less cholesterol, those have less fat, which is the main causative problem for this pot belly. So we'll need to use more plant-based foods, and you know, try and focus also on those that have sort of like supernatural powers. I'm not saying that any food should be degraded, but there are those that have more of enzymes in them, you know, say like pineapple, which has bromelain as an enzyme, say like pawpaw, which has propain as an enzyme. Those actually do help to burn off these fats. And also some of these herbs like thyme, those also are fat burning, and they, you know, have been seen to help us way better when we just have bland diets. So try and have more plant-based foods, but also look out for those that have enzymes naturally occurring within them. They would actually really help when it comes to shedding our belly. Let's go into our last question, which is coming in from Linda. Linda is asking, how do I gain weight? I was using apetamin, but it was making me lazy. So I guess she's trying to find a more natural, more sustainable, more an easier method that doesn't probably bring on side effects as bad as making her lazy, like apetamin was making her, to boost her appetite. Well, when it comes to trying to increase your appetite or your love for food, it also is going to be gradual, because clearly where you're at right now is a total downside to food, a total terrible relationship with food probably, and so you need to work on your mindset. But that's not what we'll be discussing today. Today, let's talk about a food that can actually help us increase our excitement to eat, you know. There's that urge, sort of like when cravings come in, although we're talking about a more low-key version, an excitement to eat. You know, you just feel, I'm hungry and I need to eat. So having spicy foods can actually help us to improve our appetite. Say having a bit of red chilies in your foods, maybe concentrate on having a lot of soups, say 30 minutes before a meal or before mealtime, and then add some spices. So use you know, thyme, use chilies, you know, use probably coriander. They really do help us to encourage us to actually want to eat food. So if you use spicy foods, you might find that the situation will change and you'll be eating your food again without any difficulties. Thank you, Linda, for that. How about now we head into the take of the week. So the take of the week today is coming in from MC Sugar, who is a very exciting member of the Facebook family. Again, please head down there and join the group. You'll meet him, and yeah, you'll learn a lot from him as well. His opinions are quite commendable. So the Facebook page name, like we said, is Amanda Twevas, a Dash nutritionist, and this is what MC Sugar was saying this week. He says it takes a lot of zeal to get out of your comfort zone, to find comfort in the uncomfortable. And for me, that sparked something, because I felt like yes, we want great things for ourselves, but most times we picture the end and not the means to get there. And the means definitely is going to be there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be struggle in there, there's going to be you working so hard to get to the point that you actually say, I've realized or accomplished my goal. So as much as we want to get to the end goal, say you want to shed your belly, please also put in mind that you're going to have to put in the work. Some days are going to be terrible, some days you're not going to want to do anything about it, some days are going to be great and you're going to feel good about yourself on what you have done to shed your belly, but you have to make sure that you're as persistent as there can possibly be, so that you get to your end goal. So let's figure out that also to get to our end goals, we're going to have to find comfort in the uncomfortable. So you're going to have to talk yourself through the uncomfortable times to be able to push you to attain your goals. Thank you, MC Sugar. This was really brilliant. Let's head now into our wellness quote, which is my parting gift to you, because you've been an excellent audience. You have, kept me company through this show, and I hope we are learning from each other. I do want to learn from you, so please do get down to our social media platforms and get in touch with me. Well, our wellness quote today says, if you're not hungry enough to eat an apple, you're not really hungry, you're just bored. So most times we say we are hungry, and yet that's really an excuse. We just probably want to just go and have some more ice cream, or we want to go and have more burgers and more candy, and yet we're not really hungry. We're just excited to eat, even when the body doesn't really necessarily need to eat at that point in time. So if you feel you are hungry, try eating an apple first, and then we'll see if you were actually hungry or you were just bored at that point in time. So try and focus more on eating, healthy, natural foods that would really satisfy the inner hunger of your body, which is it needs nutrients, not empty foods, not foods that pretend to excite our taste buds, and yet when they enter in the body, they are really more of a burden than anything else. So if you're not hungry enough to eat an apple, you're not really hungry, you're just bored. Well, that was the Your Take Show. Catch us again next week on Magic One TV every single Sunday at 6 p.m. but also the repeat can be caught on Mondays at 10:45 a.m. A special thank you to the crew that's behind shooting this. You guys make this show as awesome as it can get, and I'm sure the viewers love it. Until next week, from Amanda, bye-bye.